This week, and it's not going to work. We we have a movie that has lived on our shelf for a long time.
That is true.
And
it has.
Well, it's lived on my shelf since before we met. It's been about 20 years.
Back to the late 90s.
Very late 90s. The year of Prince, 1999.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's, as we talk about, it's an exception to our B-movie indie film.
Yeah, our ordinary rules
Yeah.
for B-movies and indie movies.
It was birthed as an A movie, but somehow it got adopted by a B family.
Sort of a weird circumstance, and like this happens occasionally.
Yeah.
But
And then all but abandoned.
pretty much.
I mean, yeah, this is the short of a film just getting like thrown away during production, right? There's been movies we've heard they start and then it's just like, no, fuck this. This is done. And it never came to be. So this thing was fully hatched, but then just spiraled down into the Hollywood oblivion.
Well,
And-
yeah, it's kind of a case of wrong timing, essentially, is what it boiled down to.
But it has everything. It's power-packed, full of stars. People with screen presence. None of these people were like, first up.
Right.
Right.
All really good performances.
Yeah.
Really good production value, great scoring, all like everything technical.
It was really good. Yeah.
Real good.
So this is it's a lot of good lessons on some very basic, simple, surface level stuff.
Yeah.
I enjoy watching this a lot. You enjoyed watching it.
I did enjoy watching it.
Finally. And we love talking about it. So
let's jump right in.
Let's do it.
Welcome to another episode of Bravo for the B-Side. This is Danny.
This is Jim.
And today we're talking about a movie that has been on our DVD shelf for a long time. And you've wanted me to watch it with you for a long time.
Yes.
But we just haven't ever gotten around to it really until now.
I've seen this thing many times. But I think I've only actually seen it one time in the last 10 years.
Maybe.
Other than watching it for the notes. But yeah, this it's kind of an exception to the rule. It's got a lot of big names.
It does have a lot of big names.
Had a lot of big people behind it.
Yes.
And had a big budget, but it got no love during distribution.
Right.
It was wafted out there, got its ass handily kicked by a bunch of big A movies that were, all over the place. Newspapers, TV ads, everything. And within 3 weeks, this thing just went... And they washed their hands of it so much so that the international distribution was straight to DVD.
Yes.
And it was only in a couple countries. They just kind of gave up on it, which is, I don't know, it's kind of shitty. So it got the B movie treatment.
Right. Although I don't know if it was originally intended to be a B movie.
No. It, like I said, these are some hard-hitting people, way more than what we're gonna list off. I mean, it's a cornucopia, of talent, and I don't know. I don't know why I couldn't find anything that explained why it was just shoved out into the river like baby Moses. Just go.
Well, I
And
mean,
unfortunately, nobody picked him up from the. He just floated down and off the waterfall.
I wonder if the timing was just not right and they kind of realized that a little too late and then we're like, well, fuck it.
I don't know. I mean, it's a great movie. There are going to be some issues that we're going to talk about at the end. Um, it's I don't know. I kind of feel like it was sent out. It's one of those things where Department A said, "Yeah, let's do this." Department B was like, well, "I don't know what's going on." But, all of a sudden there's a movie, and Department B's like, "I don't like this. I didn't know about this." Whatever. And unfortunately, Department B has the power.
Right, the distro marketing stuff.
Yeah. So, yeah, it doesn't matter. It doesn't take away from what the film is. And, yeah, we're going to get to that in a moment. So, what's happened in the last week? Well, we lost Dawn Wells, who played Marianne on Gilligan's Island, 82, and complications from COVID.
Yeah.
Which is a shame because it wasn't too long ago. I guess in an interview, she was saying, I'm ready to make some more movies and do some more stuff, So the list keeps growing.
Yeah.
It's a shame. But yeah, Gilligan's Island. Come on, people. You gotta love it. I grew up with it.
I loved Gilligan's Island as a kid. And, when I was a kid, it was already like old and, doing the syndicated reruns on like Nick at Night or whatever. And I always thought it was really charming as a kid. I liked it a lot.
I think the thing that made that successful, Sherwood Schwartz, that's it. My goal, anytime anyone's asked, what do you want to get out of this with writing and this business and stuff? Ideally, if I had a genie in a bottle thing going, I would be Sherwood Schwartz. I would have so many series and things going on. I couldn't remember them all. He was just a phenomenal guy and so many things under his belt. Gilligan's Island being one of dozens. And I loved there was an interview with him talking about his career. And he was so funny. He's talking about all of the hate mail because he's like, people, you just can't satisfy between Ginger's tits and Marianne's belly button. I couldn't get a night's fucking sleep.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. That woman's breasts are too big. It's, Tina Louise playing Ginger. And then, Dawn Wells was always wearing the crop top, Kansas. I don't think Kansas farm girls actually dress like that. I think that was a Hollywood interpretation.
Well, it's like a crop top peasant blouse that they just attributed.
Yeah, or just a shirt. Yeah. It's the endless supply of clothing. Except for the professor, that man stayed true to his outfit almost the whole run, except for like the fantasy bits. But the thing that made that show successful is it knew it was goofy as hell.
Yeah, and it really leaned into it.
That's what it was all about. They didn't pretend to be this Survivor type thing, this dreadful circumstance, but let's make some, comedy moments in it. They're like, no, this is fucking ridiculous. This is a outrageously ridiculous group of people who would never be brought together under any circumstances. And let's put them on a fucking island and just run with the nonsense, no continuity to worry about, nothing.
We know it's silly and off the cuff and weird, but we like it anyway.
Yeah. And I love everybody who's in it, from Alan Hale to, Dawn Wells and everyone. But Jim Backus. God damn it, you put Jim Backus in anything and it's on my A-list. Yeah. I love Jim Backus. Okay.
Well.
Should we bring in this movie now?
Yes. Why don't you tell us about it?
All right. This week, folks, we are talking about Mystery Alaska. Wom, wom. Done in 1999, directed by Jay Roach, written by David E. Kelley and Sean O'Byrne. Yes, folks, if you are TV fans and Ally McBeal and very similar shows, You are a David E. Kelley fan. More on that later. Starring Russell Crowe, Burt Reynolds, Hank Azaria, and a bunch
Many
more.
more.
It was rated R. It had an estimated $28 million budget. The log line: when Mystery Alaska's amateur hockey team accepts a challenge to play the New York Rangers, the entire population must put their petty differences aside and band together as their small town becomes the center of a nationally televised event.
It's mostly accurate. It is an egregiously long run-on sentence.
Mm-hmm.
As lots of log lines are.
Yeah, it's just, man, it's like, you got to save that period. Got to save it.
Well, it's because, it can only be 1 to 2 sentences, so.
Yeah, but it's supposed to be like 50 words, preferably 25, but 50 at most. I'm not going to count. So this movie is loosely based on a 1905 Stanley Cup game between the Dawson City Nuggets and the Ottawa Senators.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a homespun tale back then. It grossed just under $9 million in the USA. And it was not released theatrically internationally. So who knows what, if any, of the returns are, because when you send something overseas only on DVD without anything.
Right.
Yeah, it ends up in the dump.
Well, I know what I do when I go to, the store and see, not that I've done that in a long time, and see all the, new DVDs and whatever. If there's one I've never heard of, I'm like, oh, okay, this must be a nothing burger because I haven't heard anything about it.
Yeah. I mean, they still have the bins.
They do.
If we had room for DVDs, maybe. It's hard to buy the DVDs, though.
It's hard to justify it.
Well, these days it is difficult. I mean, and I say that having once touted, we had over 500, and it's like, oh, internet's down. Not a problem. Got a whole catalog, right? Gonna cut cable? Not a problem. I can do like 2 DVDs a day, and pretty much get through the year.
Right.
All right. Well, why don't you tell us about this movie?
All right.
Bring us in.
All right. So just a little preface. When I was mashing our notes up earlier today, yours were much more extensive than mine, as per usual. But I also noticed that your notes are a lot more clear than mine. So, well, because here's the thing. Not really a sports person. Don't know a lot about hockey. Don't know a lot of the terminology. Don't know the, I don't know. Just, there was a lot that it took me a little bit to catch on and understand. So I'm just warning you.
Uh-huh. Well, that's fine. Before, you know what? It's funny. Before we begin, I'm not a sports person, but hockey. Well, I used to watch rugby when I could. It was on weird channels late at night from the UK and stuff, especially Irish rugby. I don't know any of the terminology.
I occasionally enjoy, watching rugby just because it's interesting to watch, even though I don't understand any of the rules or what's going on.
Right.
It's just people bashing each other, essentially.
Pretty much. Yeah. Just get out there and run that ball back and forth and kill as many people as you can in the meantime.
I think those are the rules.
But funnily, hockey, I never liked watching hockey on TV, but I would go to the Badger games here in town because it was something to do. And it was palatable because hockey, out of all the sport, football, basketball, right? Hockey is all go, 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 go.
It is.
And, it's the only time nothing's going on is in between periods and when there's a penalty. Right. And everyone has to get situated, right? That's it. Otherwise, these guys are out there knocking everyone, shit senseless, working with this puck. I picked up a few terms, not many, but it was the one thing I could stomach watching in person. And it was nice because, I'd go alone, watch a, college hockey game.
Yeah.
And mostly also too, it was really cheap. Back
Well, I
then,
mean,
Badger hockey tickets were not, any real quantity of money.
of note, the only sporting event that you and I have ever been to together, besides jousting at the Ren Fair, is a hockey game here in Madison.
Yes.
It's a new hockey team, and I managed to get free tickets because they were trying to get me to plan an office party or something at one of the games. Kind of a
Right.
weird venue, I think, for an office party, but it's fine.
Yeah, you got a vendor perk.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think we went and we stayed for about 40 minutes, and then we were like, I'm done with this. Are you done with this? Let's go.
Well, here's the thing. We got put up in not the box,
Right.
but the next best thing under that, which is basically the large cement platform
Yeah.
surrounding all the seats above them. And it was just full of drunk assholes.
Yeah.
And I'd never run into this, at the
Goal was
college
to
game.
show us what it could be like for an office party.
Yeah.
So they had actually invited a bunch of vendors to come in and, do that. And while the seats themselves were a lot nicer than just the stadium seats,
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
and you could move around and stuff. It was just full of drunk buttholes.
Well, yeah, because they had like endless booze coming. It was terrible. But anyway. All right. So
Starting out.
take us in.
All right. So we start out with some sort of epic music. And I really did enjoy the music.
The scoring on this was great.
Yeah. As we're panning over like some Alaskan mountains and ice. And we see someone who's skating down what looks like a frozen river.
Mm-hmm.
It's really long.
Yeah.
This shot. He's skating for quite a while.
Yeah.
And he's got a hockey stick. And again, know nothing at all about hockey. My terminology is going to be terrible. So then we're in a small town. We get a lot of little establishing shots of the town, and it's kind of I think it's a typical Alaskan, little town. I mean, it's not Juneau.
No, it's a speck of a town.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's someone like practicing goal shots with a line of pucks. There's a team kind of like playing. They're messing around a little bit, but they're
Yeah.
kind of playing on some ice. There's some kids in hockey gear too. You get the sense that that's pretty much all there is to do in this town is to play hockey.
Yeah.
So then we meet Russell Crowe, who is the sheriff. His name is John. And he's having trouble starting his truck.
Right.
And he's got two kids with him, two little boys. The little one says something sweary. And he's like, "Where did you hear that?" And it turns out he heard it in the locker room with the team.
Yeah.
So he's joking around with the kids. He carries one of them inside, and his wife is in there, and he gives her a kiss. They chat for a little bit. And then they mention Jackie Black, who I'm still not really sure who that is, having watched the movie.
I think you misheard.
Okay.
They're talking about Chuck,
Okay.
Charlie.
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because he knew he was coming, because they all knew what was coming up here.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
And then he leaves. She wishes him luck with the game. So because he can't start his truck, goes into town on a snowmobile.
Yeah.
And he pulls up to where there's like lots of kids playing hockey, and he helps this like bigger, older dude shovel.
Yeah.
The guy's like having trouble for a little bit. And that guy tells him to have a good game. And he rides off with the kids. And then he's in the locker room. And the thing that I thought that was kind of funny is they have like a little stove, a little potbelly stove in there. And they open it up and there's a bunch of foil wrapped potatoes in it. And he takes a hockey stick and takes the potatoes and like starts passing them around.
Yeah.
And they start sticking them in their shoes.
Picks it up on the stick, flips it, slaps it to each person.
Yeah. So to warm up their shoes.
Whatever works. All right. So while they're in there, they're talking smack about games and each other and stuff. And then they focus around an upcoming magazine that is supposed to have a story on them. Guy walks in and says, "Guess what? Sarah Hines." And then he starts talking shit about this woman that he had just had sex with.
Right.
The guy's name is Skank. They call him Skank. Super fitting. Talk about just, it's that whole thing of the locker room where they act very much like juveniles.
Oh, yeah.
John comes in, starts to change. There's talk about this kid named Weeks who's been skating the river. Someone says there are rumors that the committee is going to get rid of someone from the team and replace them with Weeks, the Weeks boy. Then they all skate out down a frozen path to their pond, which is their hockey rink. Townspeople are gathered in bleachers. It's a really small set of bleachers. There's maybe 30 people to watch the game. One of John's kids is handing out hockey sticks and brown jerseys. So that's the thing you get is all these people go out, they're assigned random teams, and they just play each other, whatever team they're on.
Yeah.
That's their thing. It's the Saturday game. So we have a face-off, and the game is on. At one point, John takes a shot, but it's easily caught. We cut to the bleachers, and there's several men, including Bailey, who is the heavy-set man who he was helping shovel.
Right.
Are in the stands, and they wince all at once. One of them says, "Have you seen Stevie Weeks lately?" You kind of know what's going to happen. So Stevie is in the stands, sitting with a young woman. They start to kiss. The girl's father reaches over and smacks Stevie in the head with a paper. His name is Walter. His wife says, "Very effective." And his response is just real simply, "Nipped in the bud." Okay, coming into the rink is John's wife and the mayor's wife. They have the most recent copy of Sports Illustrated, which is the magazine that has a story on the players of Mystery Alaska. So the mayor reads it, giving us some background on how long and how important these weekly games are to the town.
Yeah. So I thought that article was really interesting because it kind of explains for us, the viewer,
right,
about these games. And so the basic principle of it is that they have this game called the Saturday game.
Mm-hmm.
And there is a committee in the town who decides who plays in the Saturday game.
Yeah.
Right? You can't just play. Not anybody gets to play.
Nope.
These are the big deal games.
Yes.
In the town.
If you're chosen to be on the team for the Saturday games, you are an elevated celebrity.
Right. You're a town celebrity.
Yeah.
And I thought that was super interesting.
I liked, that was the one thing I liked about this whole thing. I'm not giving anything away ahead of time. We know it's a super tiny town. I mean, it's a town. It's not a city. It's a town.
Right.
Of the 30 people in the stands, you probably figure there's maybe upwards of 150, maybe 200 more.
Total.
Right? This is a very rural, out of the way place. And I love the intimacy that it developed with just the shots and everything, the interactions. But then this little exposition bit from the article really laid it out on, this is all there is to do.
Yeah.
So they embraced it, and it's become their thing and their tradition, every Saturday, the Saturday game.
Yes.
Kind of thing, And where they are in Alaska is supposed to be, you get the sense it's way north.
Mm-hmm.
So winter is a long-standing thing.
Right.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. So then we're back in the locker room, and the guys are talking about the magazine. The article itself doesn't speak very highly of John.
No.
And he's not pleased about it.
No.
But all of them are like reading the little quotes about themselves. And And the article ends by saying that their team rivals any team in the NHL,
Yes.
just by virtue of them doing it constantly and for years, essentially.
Right. I mean, this is what they do day in, day out.
Yeah.
Out of their day jobs, they're practicing hockey and playing hockey.
Mm-hmm. So then we're at a house, and the dad from the stands earlier,
Walter.
yeah, played by Burt Reynolds, is scolding his son for playing poorly. And at this point, I was like, they're really fucking serious about hockey.
Yes.
So they have an argument, and the mom's at the table trying to kind of stop them from arguing, and not very successfully. So the dad gets mad and leaves, and the son, postulates that, well, he never played the Saturday game, so he's bitter about it.
Right. Well, and then it's pointed out that he was in AA hockey when he was in college. That Walter was the dad, and his son's like, "Well, AA is not the Saturday game."
Right.
Oh, all right. Shit.
Yeah. So then we kind of go to another house, and there's one of the players. It's what's his name? Skank. He's having sex with a woman, and it's the wife of one of the
mayor's wife.
The mayor's wife.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's funny because he's more into the hockey game that's on TV.
Yeah. On his little 8-inch television.
Right. And that's pretty much all there is to that scene. And then we're in a school with a bunch of kids in the classroom are reading the magazine article.
Yes.
Right. And then I'm like, oh, that guy is a teacher?
Yep. Skank is an elementary school teacher.
Uh-huh. All right. And one of the kids says, breaks the news to him that there's someone being kicked off the team and another person who's played that the committee's making a decision. Like now.
Like now. Yeah.
So we find out that they're kicking John off for the kid who was skating on the river, Weeks. So we find this out by a little kind of cutaway to John talking to the committee.
Right.
Right. And he's upset, so he leaves. He drives to the station, and inside, everyone already knows.
Yeah. All the deputies are just looking at him. Right.
They know. And they let him know that his wife is in his office waiting. Yep. That's how big of a deal this is.
Yep.
It's like a kid died.
Yep.
We learned that her name is Donna. And he goes in and he's talking to her a little bit, and he assures her that he's fine. And she's not buying it.
No.
So then we kind of cut to John cleaning his stuff out of the locker room. And while he's in there alone, putting his stuff in his box, he takes a moment to grieve. And we're back to the school where Skank is talking to the mayor's wife, who is upset that she didn't tell him that they were going to cut John.
Right.
Right. Because she'd have known, because the mayor's on the committee.
Right.
Right.
Well, he didn't share. I don't think because he comes in when they're talking in the doorway.
Yeah.
The mayor comes in.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, she's pissed the mayor didn't even tell her.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then we see John walking into a restaurant. He's got one of his kids with him, and there's a bunch of high school kids in there joking around.
Mm-hmm.
And once John walks in, they all just go quiet. And one of them is Weeks. So they were kind of celebrating him getting onto the team and yada, yada, yada. And John, very gentlemanly, very good sportsmanly, wishes him luck in a nice way.
Yeah. I think the only thing he says is, I don't want to hear your grades are dropping.
Right.
that was it.
And then John gets a call, and essentially it's just Connor Banks shot a guy. That's the call. So Banks is another one of the team guys. So John goes out to figure out what it is, and there was some business guy in the shoe store who Banks shot in the foot.
Yeah.
They were arguing about some big store coming in, and
Price,
Banks,
Price World.
right. And Banks, I don't think he meant to shoot him in the foot. I think he meant to scare him,
Right.
but it ended up going into the guy's foot.
Yeah. It, either way,
Either way,
what's done is done.
right. And it's funny because there's a little bit of back and forth between John and his deputy, and the deputy's, because John's like, well, you need to arrest him. And the deputy's like, seriously? It's like, yeah, he shot a guy.
Like, he's our top scorer.
Yeah, but he shot someone.
He shot someone.
So John arrests him, and then he hears that a helicopter is coming over town hall.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I love that. There's a helicopter hovering over town hall, and yeah, I think it's the Russians. What the hell? So the helicopter lands, and a guy gets out. John is there to meet him. John insults him, like, right away. And we learn the man is Charlie. He's the one responsible for the article in Sports Illustrated. He's the one who wrote it. And he says he comes bearing the New York Rangers.
Very dramatically.
Yes. So in the mayor's office, he's saying that the article spurred a lot of interest. The NHL wants the Rangers to play the mystery team for publicity. So we cut to there's some jib jab. We cut to a town meeting, and the mayor is letting everybody know what's going on. He's asking if they really want this game. And I thought this was great. An old woman stands up and asks if they really stand a chance, because if they're going to get laughed at, then they shouldn't do it. So the mayor calls on Charlie, who we learn is from Mystery.
Right.
And seems to be the only one to have ever gotten out. Right. Now, a little backpedaling here. So, like, Walter is the city judge, right? So we know that he, like, got out to go to law school
and then came back, and
then do whatever, but came back. And it seems like maybe a couple others might have, but Charlie's
no one,
the only one.
Leaves for good.
Right. He's the one who, gone.
Right. And he's not thought of very highly for this.
No. Well, there's a lot of animosity towards him.
Yeah.
So Charlie is saying that the mystery team can't beat the Rangers in a regular hockey rink, but on a pond with their rules, they stand a chance. So the mayor calls out to John asking if they can make a game of it. John explains the differences between the rules they play and the NHL rules. It's just, bing, bing, boom. Very somber, very matter of fact. Charlie cuts in doing his PR bit. The mayor asks again, can they win? John says on the pond, they can skate. And that's an affirmative. So then Walter stands up, judge. He reminds them the Rangers are professionals. He says they have only ever had two things, their dignity and their illusions, meaning mystery.
Right.
He says they should cling to both. And then his son, Bertie, stands up and asks, where is the dignity in not trying? Then all of the players stand in support of him. So Bertie's dad's judge just winces. Then the mayor announces he's going to extend the invitation to the New York Rangers.
Yes. So then we see kind of like a flurry of activity, getting the pond ready. John is driving up, kind of watching it, and his wife is with him. And his wife says they'll want him back for sure on the team now.
Right.
That they're playing the Rangers. And as that happens, the mayor is coming up, Scott.
Yeah.
And John's, puffed up just a little bit.
Yep.
So he comes up to the window and asks John if he will coach the team.
Yeah.
And John is not thrilled about it. He says he'll think about it. And his wife is trying to be supportive, but John is clearly still very bitter.
Mm-hmm.
So then we cut to a plow truck.
Yeah.
Where Weeks and his girlfriend are talking. And she wants to celebrate him getting on the team and is worried that since he's on the team now, all the girls are going to be after him, you know.
Yeah.
And he seems like a sweet kid. You know, he's like very, you know, homegrown, naive, a little bit,
Yeah.
nice. Uh, just like genuinely chuffed to have been picked to be on the team. Right? Like he genuinely wasn't expecting it, even though everyone was talking about it.
Right.
So she's afraid that if she doesn't have sex with him, that she's going to lose him.
Because all of the girls in town are going to be after him because he's on the Saturday team. Right. Or he's in the Saturday game.
Right.
Yeah.
And he's like, you don't have to do that. It's fine. I'm not going to leave you. But she's like, no, it's like really for real. Let's do this. And he's like, well, if you know, I mean, if you're sure. And they have a bit of an awkward scene.
It is a hilarious little awkward moment that probably, well, every man and woman can relate to from their teens. That just, yeah, you'll know, folks.
These things happen.
You'll know.
So then we're at the gas station and Skank is pulling up and it's across the street from the gas station, I realized.
Yeah.
Her house.
Yeah.
And it's the woman he mentioned in the locker room, Sarah Hines.
Yes.
And he's pulled up to like hook up with her, right? But the guy, somehow it's gotten back to her what he said in the locker room about her.
Yeah.
And so she hits him on the head with a shovel.
Yes. And I love it. She hits him. He goes down. He's like, ah. And she just stands over him. Mother walrus going thwap, thwap, thwap.
Right.
And then she fucking hits him again.
100% deserved.
Yes.
So then we see Donna, who's watching the rink being prepped. And what's happening is they're tearing down a playground to make room.
So yeah, and this is a fault in the editing. They are not playing on the pond.
Right.
They are starting to construct a
rink.
NHL league stats, requirements rink. So that was one of the things. We'll just talk about it right now.
It was a little weird.
It is important.
Yeah.
That the audience knows what's going on. And so this is a ding on the movie itself. That the whatever scenes were edited out, right? They weren't careful to reshoot or even do like a shot of the town with an ADR voiceover, right? Saying, now they're saying they want a rink and then like flow that into something else. So yeah, they're building a regulation hockey rink.
Well, a semi-regulation. It ends up being, as like they say, much like the largest hockey rink ever. So it seems like they must have negotiated a couple of things.
Maybe.
Like it's bigger than a standard hockey rink. It is much bigger than a standard hockey rink. What they end up building. But anyway, one of my favorite lines is she says, "They're going to let the kids keep the school or what?" As the mayor comes up.
Well, yeah, because the bulldozer's pushing one of those big log playground things. Just like shoving it across.
Yeah, demolishing the playground. So she's just watching this. The mayor comes out. She goes, "They're going to let the kids keep the school or what?"
And then he's just like, "Oh, Donna, blah, blah, blah." And this is one of my favorite lines is he looks at her and he says, "Hey, we're getting a Zamboni." And Donna, the actress, the actor who plays her is so good.
She's wonderful
at these flat deliveries. Like, a Zamboni, huh? Makes me wet just thinking about it. And the mayor goes, "Jesus!" He's disgusted and he walks off.
Yeah, I really like her. I think of all the characters in this movie, she is my favorite one.
She is. The story is very much about John,
It is.
and her, not necessarily together, but each of them.
Each of their stories. Yeah. And her story, I think, is like super relatable for a lot of people,
Mm-hmm.
Who have, like been in that kind of life. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, we'll talk about that
Okay.
at the end. Yeah.
Anyway.
Okay.
So then Charlie comes up to talk to her, and he clearly has a thing for her.
Yep.
And she's like nice, and she jokes around with him a little bit, but it's clear that she's not interested.
Right. She's having a little fun
Right.
with the conversation, but yeah.
So then we are in court,
Mm-hmm.
and the judge, right?
Yep.
The stuffy dad. This is where we learn that he's the judge. And it's the case where Banks shot that guy. And it doesn't seem to be going super well.
No, and this is where we learn that Bailey, the self-described fat man,
Right.
is the one lawyer in town.
Yep,
So
the only one.
He's defending Connor Banks.
Yeah. So then we're in the locker room, and it's the team in there, and John is kind of showing them a play that the Rangers do.
Yeah.
And he tells them that, they kind of go over the whole thing about Skank getting hit with the shovel.
Mm-hmm.
And he kind of has to reiterate what's said in the locker room stays in the locker room. The guy who blabbed about what Skank said, right? Because it ended up with him in the hospital.
Yeah.
Right?
Getting stitches.
Yeah.
Well, and it's that if we can't trust one another in the locker room, we can't trust one another on the ice.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the guy who leaked that, I guess, needs to pay. And so what they end up doing is have him skating pretty much naked.
He's wearing just a jockstrap.
Right. And sliding around on the ice.
And it's commented that it's 10 below.
Uh-huh.
And yep, the punishment is he has to make laps as fast as he can and then drop to his ass and slide on the ice.
Into the snowbank.
Into a snowbank. I don't know if anyone's ever had ice burn, but every time I see that, my whole body tenses. Oh,
I've had ice burn.
it's fucking miserable.
It's terrible.
It doesn't even make sense.
No.
Even, as a kid, and then as, my understanding of the world and science and everything as I grew older, I still to this day, it doesn't make sense.
No, it doesn't.
I refuse to believe, or to listen to any explanations. You can give me all the science you want. I'm just going to call it bullshit. It doesn't make sense. Right. So, yep. Here
we go.
Didn't take out my notes.
Sorry.
That's okay.
I mixed up a little bit on the notes.
That's all right.
Fixed.
So, what happens is we're back in court. It's court day.
Mm-hmm.
Price World Man is on the stand. He says something. Bailey objects and then forgets what he was going to say. And just out loud, he goes, fuck it. And then it's his turn to cross-examine. He starts to ramble about recent events. Judge sternly tells him nothing about Price World or the upcoming game. This is because he's like, big happenings this week. Right? New York Rangers coming. Price World wants to, build a store in our little town and this. This is all about Connor Banks shooting some fucking guy in the foot.
Right.
Nothing else is relevant. So Bailey, then he asks the guy, so, you don't like our little town much, do you? Like, what? I don't know what you mean. No, it's fine. So then Bailey reads the swearing tirade that the guy went off on when John showed up. What the fuck? And he fuck shit bum fuck town rat fucking asshole shit sphincter. Are you okay? No, I'm not okay. You fucking fuck. I've been fucking shot in the fucking foot. This is what it is. So the guy from Price World is wonderful.
Oh,
and
yeah.
his that whole tirade.
I've
after
seen
being
him
shot.
go off on tirades in multiple movies.
Yeah, he is. It's Michael McKean. So, folks, if you know him, you know he can get like hyped up, and that character was done really well. Now, as you know, things are start not looking good for the Price World man who got shot, which is McKeon. In the locker room, the team is watching TV, and it seems, because they're watching some commentators, seems that the Rangers may not be up for the game. They were never officially asked by the NHL.
Whoops.
So, yeah. So the commentators are saying that the game is a joke anyway. So we cut to the team practicing on the Saturday game. And as the game takes off, Stevie is whipping around the ice. At one point, he collides with the biggest guy on the team, Tree.
Mm-hmm.
He's huge. Birdie goes to him. Stevie is out. They revive him. He's delirious. And it's funny. He opens his eyes and he's like, all right, Stevie, all right, Stevie. He just looks up and he says, I'm a premature ejaculator. He's all right. And you get him up. So in the stands, Charlie's talking to Donna. Donna's giving him some sass. Charlie talks about getting out of the town. You know, why he went to go do this. He wanted to be the writer and do this whole thing and da-da-da-da-da. John, we cut to the ice. John sees them talking. He doesn't look happy.
Well, they're laughing together.
Right.
Yeah.
You know.
So he turns and sees that. And, you know, oh, God.
Well, you know, there's reasons for that. Then we get into the locker room. Stevie's getting checked out. Birdie comes over. Stevie's still slightly out of it.
Yeah.
He's like partially concussed, even though. So Stevie tells Birdie he's sorry. He didn't even get the condom on. It's because of your sister's breasts. They're so perky. And Birdie just fucking knocks him out again. And I love it. The doctor is just filling up in needles. Like, he's down again.
So then we're with Week's girlfriend, who's Birdie's sister. And I still haven't caught her name by now. You did. But since I didn't, I just left my notes as I don't know what her name is.
We'll just call her the girlfriend.
The girlfriend. She's crying in her room, and her mom walks in and starts talking to her. And I thought this was really sweet. Because, you know, at first she's like, no, I don't want to talk about it. And her mom's like, you know, come on. So they start talking about Weeks, essentially, and how she's afraid that, you know, he doesn't want to sleep with her and all the stuff. Now
Right.
He's a big shot and everything. And then Judge Dad walks in and he's at first very like, what are you talking about? I deserve to know what's going on in my house. And the mom turns and she says, I swear, if you don't leave, I will tell you what we're talking about.
And he just goes and walks away silently. I love that.
I love it too.
And we're going to talk more about it after, but that's one of the huge things. All of these little moments.
They're really lovely.
And there's a reason they're lovely, and there's a reason this movie sticks with me that we'll get into. But yeah, they're really well done.
They really are.
And they're just seconds.
They are.
Just seconds. Not like, 25 minutes of build up, and then we have our moment.
They're very real.
Yeah, it's life. Life is like this. We have an 11-year-old daughter,
Mm-hmm.
and when she's 11-year-old daughtering, it's not like we have a week, right, in cutscenes worth of time and then just like bam. Nope, it's like bam, this is happening. Bam, deal with it. Bam,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, back in court, the jury has made a decision. They walk in, and they very proudly declare that Banks is not guilty.
Yeah.
And then they also throw on top of it that Price World should pay damages.
Oh, yeah.
Like they've taken it upon themselves to do the judge's work here.
Was it $800,000?
Something like that. And the Judge Dad, is not impressed. First of all, they're not paying damages.
Well, he has to explain this is a criminal case. There are no damages. So I'm vacating the decision.
Right. And he's disappointed, and he says this, that the town has put the hockey game above what is right. all because they wanted their star center back.
Yeah. And he said, "You've disgraced yourselves. You've disgraced my courtroom."
Mm-hmm.
And he gavels it. He's like, defendant is free to go. Again, just seconds, but that epitomizes everything that, values.
Right.
Small town values.
Mm-hmm. So his son, Bertie, in the gallery is thoughtful. So after everyone leaves, he goes and confronts Judge Dad.
I love you calling him Judge Dad.
And they don't really reach a resolution about this.
No, Bertie is just going on about how you want me to do this and this and that and that, but this is what I want to do. You never asked me what I want to do, kind of thing. Typical.
And he doesn't even give Judge Dad really a chance to reply. He just goes on his little tirade and then leaves.
Right. And Judge, we learn by this time, Judge is a man of few words.
Yeah.
Right. It's that you get the sense he's that man who, his self-made man who's like, I speak when there needs to be speaking. Otherwise, just stay quiet.
Mm-hmm. So, back in the town, Charlie has brought the network folks to mystery.
Oh, God, yes.
So one of them is this woman who...
She's the reporter.
The reporter.
Yeah.
She steps out and the mayor is trying to talk to her. Everyone's trying to talk to her, and she's just more concerned about how cold her nose is than anything else.
Yep.
She's a total bitch.
Yeah. She's just, my nose. I can't feel my nose. It's so cold. My nose. And it's about maybe 20 below.
Right.
Maybe 30 below.
Yeah.
This is Alaskan winter, way north. So easily.
The network folks kind of storm away, bickering, right? Leaving Scott and John, who keep walking, and they run into Judge Dad. And John goes to walk with him.
Mm-hmm.
And they talk a little bit. It seems like John might take advice frequently from Judge Dad. Or sometimes.
Well, yeah. I mean, he says at one point, Judge taught, including him, every kid in that town to skate, and all the playing adults.
Right.
See, John is, I think, the oldest among them.
Yeah.
Right. But Judge taught him how to play hockey.
Right.
And he's just, so he has that connection, because we get the sense that John's parents aren't around.
Right.
Right. That's never brought up, anything like that.
Well, I'm sure if they were, he'd talk to them sometimes. So.
Well, town that small, how can you not?
Right. So, the next day, Charlie unveils the long-awaited Zamboni.
Yes.
And it's really tiny and really old.
It is decades old.
And the mayor is not impressed because of how old it is. And I think he makes a comment like, I didn't know you were bringing the first Zamboni ever made. Yeah.
Yeah. Charlie makes a comment about, Zambonis, they last forever. It's like, yeah, but did you have to bring the first one?
Right. And then we see John and Donna, who are watching the rink go up, right? They're kind of walking around, and they're talking as he's examining the ice, right?
Yeah. Donna's got some thoughtful questions and comments.
Yeah.
And he's just kicking the ice and rubbing his foot over the lines,
right?
In the circle and stuff. And by this time, I mean, it's a full on thing. They're out there walking, they're raising the rink lights.
Right.
Yeah. So there's already bleachers.
And the scoreboard and.
Yeah. The bleachers are done. The broadcaster's booth is done.
It's got walls.
Yeah.
And he mentions, as he's examining, he mentions that she's been smiling more since Charlie came back. So we get that first little outward jealousy.
Yeah.
And she doesn't really dignify that, you know.
Right.
And then he says, you know, kind of looking around the ring, he's like, "This is not a pond."
Yeah. It's a real good moment of, you know, the realization that the differences are now physical. It's not just theoretical anymore. It's not just what you know in your head. Now you can see the boards. You can see the ends of the rink, right? You can see where the goals are going to go. And it's not what they're used to.
No. And it's a lot of money being spent on this.
It's a huge amount of money.
Yeah.
And the town is putting this all together.
Right.
So this is the town's money. Yeah.
So we cut to, and it's at John's house, I think, and all of the team is there watching a Rangers game, researching.
Yeah.
And they are super intimidated.
Yeah.
As they watch.
Well, they picked a spot in a game recording because he's watching it on recording.
Yeah.
And it's a fight on the ice.
Yeah.
Right. So you see somebody's checked someone up against the boards. The gloves are thrown off. They're pulling jerseys and they're just bam, 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 bam. And I don't know who it was. It was the Rangers against somebody.
Right.
I don't know who the other team is. But they're just fucking like Rocky.
Yeah.
Beating each other. And the big guy is like, this doesn't look like they're playing hockey. He's maybe fast forward to where they're playing the game. Oh, man. Which is interesting because that means they don't actually follow hockey.
Right.
You know, I mean, we know Skank watches it, and I'm sure some of them do.
But they have their own rules. You know, when they are playing, like that game they played at the beginning of the movie, they weren't fighting with each other. I mean, it was, you know, like full contact, but they weren't beating the shit out of each other.
No, that's the whole thing. If somebody knocks you on your ass, they're going to lean over you and say, man up, you know, and pull you up. And yeah, that's the game.
Yeah.
You know.
So it's the next day and the camera crew with that reporter woman, they're doing some establishing story shots. They're trying to talk to some people in the town, you know. And Skank goes up to the woman and he starts making like lewd comments towards her and stuff, giving her shit, and she's not having it.
No, it's hilarious. He is so disgusting, really.
He is.
But she's there freezing with her mittens on in between the things. He comes up and he just stands there without even looking at her. He kind of like looks away from her almost. Seems like you do well to warm your hands on a nice warm Yule log.
Right. Oh.
And she just looks at him like, I know exactly what you're saying, you fucking pervert.
So gross. And then we have a shot of the team practicing, right? And I thought this was really cute. So the big guy, Tree, John is talking to him because they had just watched that game where they're beating each other up, and he wants Tree to play more aggressively. You know, he's like, knock me over, right?
Yeah.
And Tree's like, no, I don't want to do that. You're my buddy.
Well, then he starts hitting him with the stick.
Right.
and then Tree knocks him down.
Uh-huh.
Well, the thing is they're friends.
Yeah.
So he is the biggest guy on the team.
Mm-hmm.
He's not, but he's also like, the gentle giant.
Yes.
So there's that trope. He's just a nice guy. And he's not going out there, he-manning himself through his teammates. Right?
Yeah. But John wants him to toughen up, he says, and play. You're a big guy. Play like a big guy.
Yeah.
You're the only big guy we have.
Right.
Essentially.
Well, because the Rangers are going to.
Yeah. That's
what they do. Oh. So then we cut to the mayor's house. He and his wife are talking in their bedroom. Back and forth, back and forth. He ends up looking down as he's taking his socks off, and he finds Skank's necklace laying on the floor, like partly under the bed, partly out. He picks it up, holds it up. His wife turns and looks at him, and he says, Skank Martin has been in this bed. And she just silence.
Mm-hmm.
She doesn't argue. So the next day, Charlie approaches the mayor saying they have a problem. The Rangers are not coming. Rangers filed a grievance with the players union. The mayor is pissed. All the money they spent on everything. And he just punches Charlie right in the face.
Right.
At John's, he's hammering pucks at a goalie dummy. Donna comes out and tells him to come in. He's being too noisy for the kids. It's late, so their kids are in bed. Inside, they start to argue. And he's pissed at Charlie, and he's pissed at Donna for smiling at Charlie.
Mm-hmm.
And then it all kind of comes out. She says it was just flattering for her. And they get into this whole big thing. And this is where Donna lays it out. This is the moment, right? She's like, do you have any fucking idea what it's like to be a woman in this town?
Yeah.
Right? And it immediately, without saying it and like detailing it explicitly, it like jumps us back to gender roles from the 50s.
Yeah.
Right? This is a small rural town. And we know this is a fact. All over America, all over the world, in every country, these little towns, they lived many, many, many decades behind.
Yes.
Right? So, she's, trying to, eck out a life and, be a good wife and,
raise
kids.
kids.
She's got 2 sons.
Right.
And she's like, thank fucking God I had sons. Right? We had boys because I wouldn't want to raise a daughter in this town.
Mm-hmm.
And it all comes down to, there's the whole thing of like, he's like, you're going to regret having, stayed here and, I'm just worried about that. And she just like slaps him down.
Yeah.
Saying she never chose to stay. She chose him.
Right.
2 totally separate things. If they're in mystery, that's where they are. That's not because that's where she chose to stay. She chose to be with him.
Right.
And it also double slaps him because it comes out that she and Charlie dated in high school.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Well, yeah. And she also makes a comment in this conversation. I believe it's in this conversation where she's like, ever since you got removed from the team.
Oh, yeah.
You've only been half here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. She's like, you checked out the day, you're not engaged.
Right.
You've just been this like walking corpse.
Right.
Ever since you got kicked off the Saturday team.
So, fuck me for talking to someone who's talking to me.
Well, that's kind of the thing. Yeah. It's pointing out a lot of things. It really strengthens her character.
Mm-hmm.
And I love that because, I like Russell Crowe and he did a great job. And the character of John isn't a horrible human being, but it laid out his fault.
Mm-hmm.
Ripped it open and just dumped a 40-pound bag of salt in it and just rubbed it.
Well, yeah.
So the character flaw, huge and just undeniable. And what I like was there was no resolution in this conversation.
Right.
They just left it. Again, real life. Not everything's wrapped up as the clock's ticking. Tick, 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 tick. Okay, roll credits, Okay. Then after this, we cut to Judge, and he's watching Bailey playing hockey with the little kids. I mean, little kids.
Yeah.
Kid comes over, and I love this. He gives the kid a tip. He's, just real quick. He's like, raise your elbows. Raise your elbows. Your stick lays flat on the ice. You paid for it. Might as well use all of it.
Yeah.
Then he talks to Bailey. It turns out he's going to send Bailey to New York for the hearing in federal court by the Players Union.
Which says a lot about, what he thinks of Bailey, despite the court case and everything.
Yeah, and he told Bailey to take Tree with him.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the mayor, we cut to him. It's night. He's in a small ice fishing hut somewhere out on the ice, just sitting there looking despondent. Door opens. His wife comes in. They start talking about what happened. It's the same kind of thing. She's like, you haven't laid a finger on me in years.
Right.
Right. And it's just, I just wrote, it seems like mystery is full of problems, marital and otherwise. And that is the truth. Everyone thinks these small rural towns and living out in Podunkville is like paradise. It's fucking worse. It's worse in so many ways because
It becomes a microcosm.
it does. It becomes a microcosm, and there's not enough distraction like other shit to do.
Mm-hmm.
So the only things that really there are to do is have problems, let them marinate, take a couple bites, reheat them, make another helping, right? It just, there's no way, eventually it all builds to explode. Mm-hmm. And that's not to say it doesn't happen everywhere, but we both know in little towns, that's like the thing to do. And in mystery, it's that and hockey.
Pretty much.
So we cut to New York. They're talking. There's some back and forth. It gets to Bailey's turn to speak. And I love it when he's talking and the lawyer for the union, interrupts him. And he just very matter-of-factly, slightly sternly looks at the judge. May I be heard? Right?
Yeah.
I don't know why, but I think that is like one of the best courtroom lines ever. So then he starts to give a great speech. We see Tree in the seats behind him. And as he's talking, Bailey starts to feel ill. And then he starts getting really wound up in this speech. And then he just stops. He looks at the judge and he shrugs. And then he just falls to the floor in the midst of a heart attack.
Yeah. And I love Tree jumps over the little gate.
Yeah. As soon as he hit the ground, he's just like over there, pushing Bayless and stuff away, give him space. People are yelling, call 911. Then we cut to mystery and they're having Bailey's funeral. John gives a touching eulogy. I didn't write it down, but one of the things he says is, one day one of my boy asked him, why are you so fat? As kids do. He said Bailey explained to him that he's got a big heart. And when he meets somebody he likes, his heart grows bigger. And because he lives in mystery, there's so many people that he likes and loves so much that his body had to get bigger to make room for his heart.
Right.
And I just thought, oh my God, what a wrap up of who this character was.
Mm-hmm.
What a nice little, I just loved it. So then we cut to night. Judge is standing at Bailey's grave, drinking from a flask. He pours some out on Bailey's grave. John comes up asking if Judge sent Bailey to New York. Judge says, yeah. Tells Judge that Bailey won. The game is on. And Judge agrees to coach the team if John will be the team captain.
Yeah.
So now we're in it.
So we get a little bit of a montage of Judge Dad making the team run drills. And you get the sense that he's pretty, brutal with these. He's extremely serious. Yeah, these are professional drills. Yeah. And then we see the mayor and his wife are talking again. There's some celebrity going to sing the national anthem for the game. They don't know which one.
Right.
Skank knocks on the door. And the wife answers the door, and he says that he wants to talk to Scott. So Skank wants to apologize, and he gives this kind of weird but heartfelt apology.
It is the most awkward fucking apology ever.
And he, swears to take the game seriously and, try to do the town proud despite all of his shortcomings as a person. And the mayor, it just kind of listens with this look on his face.
Yeah, he can't.
Sure how to take this.
What's going on? Well, and one of my favorite lines from him is, I know I'm not perfect. I drink and I fornicate. Or I play hockey and I fornicate because those are the two most fun things to do in the mystery.
I mean, it's weird, but it seems genuine.
Yeah, it's just so odd.
So then we get the Rangers arriving in a helicopter. And notably, when I was making our little info sheet for this, one of the little fun facts on IMDb was that there are no actual New York Rangers in this movie because they refused to be in it.
Mm-hmm.
So all of the players, all the Ranger players, are made up names.
Right.
And the whole town is there to welcome them. And it's funny because they get off the helicopter and they're walking through the crowd. You know, they've got a little path, right? And all of these Rangers are huge guys. And Tree initially is like, they're not so big. And then they get closer.
And the guy's like up to the guy's nipples.
Right. And then Tree's like, oh, shit. And then John is there, and one of his deputies whispers something to him, and then John leaves, and we see where he's gone. Charlie is drunk driving the Zamboni around.
Well, he's heading out of town,
right? Well, and he says he's leaving town.
Yeah,
and he's upset that the town has given the Rangers such a warm welcome. He's like, I brought him. Why isn't the town throwing me a parade?
Yeah.
You know? And so John asks if he wants to go get coffee. But Charlie just kind of comes down and sits down with John. And Charlie's really bitter about the way the town treats him. Right?
Yeah.
Because in his mind, he is doing, you know, like he genuinely, I guess, you know, he knows the town loves hockey, and his way of kind of showing that he loves the town, even though he left it,
mm-hmm.
was to bring the Rangers in. You know, like it's hockey.
Right.
This is your guys' thing.
Yeah.
You know? And John kind of checks him. He's like laying out the seriousness of the situation for the town. Essentially, you know, like, oh, well, that's great and all, but what if we lose?
Mm-hmm.
You know, have you thought through what that is going to do to the town?
I call this moment the puppy in the box with a ribbon moment, right? Because we hear about it all the time. We see videos, you know, people get puppy for not just their kids, but like for somebody as a gift.
Right.
And every animal person across the planet says, don't fucking give animals as gifts. Don't surprise somebody with a fucking puppy,
mm-hmm.
because, you know, and that's the thing, is he was doing it with that same approach.
Right.
You know, from this, I got Charlie he didn't like hockey, couldn't skate. They mentioned it several times.
Right.
He can't even, you know, ice skate. He was just the weird egg in town.
Mm-hmm.
So he left, but he loves the town.
Right.
And yeah, some of it's self-serving because he wants this to forward his
career,
you know, and he wants some recognition on, look what I can do and look what I've done for you, without thinking really far ahead to what John's pointing out to him. You know, what if we get fucking destroyed? What if it's a shutout?
Right.
You know, you don't recover from that.
Yeah.
You know.
So then we're at John's house after this conversation, and John is sitting at the table and he's crossing out words in the paper
mm-hmm.
with a marker. And Donna walks in and she's like, what are you doing? And he just kind of passes it to her and tells her to read it. And they're all nice words from the Dear Abby column.
Yeah.
Right? So he leaves while she's reading it, and it's really sweet. You know.
It's a little weird.
It is a little weird.
But they're all affirmations.
Yeah.
They're you can tell they're words representing both how he feels,
mm-hmm.
and also what she is.
Right.
Like, you know, comforting, strong,
mm-hmm.
you know. So it's a man of few words has picked a few words
yeah.
out of a column to represent what he thinks about his wife and how he feels towards her.
Mm-hmm. So it's his way of doing it. It's a little odd. Yeah, but
It is.
it's his way, I guess. So he leaves while she's reading it and he goes to the pond and is skating around it. And a little while later, she comes out and she watches him. And they start playing around and they have kind of a kiss and make up.
Yeah, we have the closure.
Yeah. So it's morning and we see John laying awake in bed. And then we kind of go to all the other players in the town. Well, not all of them, but a lot of them around the town. The mood is serious.
Yes. To say the least.
Yeah. So it's game day. We see the announcers in the box kind of talking about the game a little bit. They're doing their pregame chat chit.
Yep.
The players are readying themselves in the locker room. The mayor is standing outside a bus that is
a big tour bus.
A big tour bus. And it's Little Richard's bus.
Yeah, it pulls back. And then we see Little Richard on the side of the bus.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Little Richard. I love this moment in the movie.
So I'm like, okay, he's going to be singing the national anthem. Awesome. Scott goes in to talk to him, and Little Richard immediately, he's like bundled in a fur jacket.
He's sitting on a big furry chair in his bus, and he's all bundled up to the chin.
I'm cold.
Yeah, Scott, just a pleasure to meet you, Mr. Richard, this and that and that and this. Little Richard just looks at him. I'm cold.
And the mayor is like, so I have a request for you. And that's when that scene kind of cuts.
Yeah.
So then we're on the rink and the Rangers skate out. And they set this up a little bit before, but I kind of skipped over it. But as the Rangers are skating out, instead of cheering, because it's just the town here for the game, every person in town raises a newspaper over their face.
The Mystery Gazette.
Yeah. And makes no sound at all.
Yep. So the Rangers come out, they do their skate about. Yeah, and everyone's just, quote, reading the paper. And then when they show a side angle, they're all looking at each other behind the paper, smiling. Enjoying themselves. It's
their little joke. And then the mystery team skates out and the town like goes crazy. Right.
Yep.
And John is he looks very pleased to be on the team again. Right.
Oh, yeah.
For this game. And then we have Little Richard coming out to sing the anthem. And as he starts singing, he's singing it really, really slowly.
So slow. Even the announcer's like, why is he singing this so slowly? And then we have people not on the cameras. What the fuck is he doing? The Rangers coach, why the fuck is he singing this so slow?
Right, why is he singing so slow? And the Rangers team, because, the teams are right next to him on the ice waiting, they're shifting around looking miserable. They're fucking freezing, right?
Yeah, 10, 20 below zero is not how you play hockey in the NHL.
So just as he's about done with the national anthem, everyone's like, oh, and the Rangers even start to kind of skate away, right? Like they couldn't quite wait. And then he starts singing the Canadian national anthem.
Oh, Canada.
And everyone is fucking confused because they're like, why is he singing the Canadian
national anthem?
Really slowly also.
Oh, man. Everybody is just miserable. The Rangers are, just losing their shit being so cold.
Well, and the mayor in the stands has got this huge grin on his face.
Yep. He pulled it off. His little maneuver. So then the game starts. And then in my notes at this point, I'm not going to cover the game, just some high points. Turns out the Rangers right away are ferocious. Mystery is just holding on as the thing kicks off because they're not used to this level of aggressiveness. No matter how much you watch hockey and practice, right? You can tell they got caught with their pants down. Mm-hmm. But it doesn't take long. Stevie Weeks gets the puck and just like the flash, gets in there and scores the first point of the game. Everyone's just like, whoa! Later on, Connor scores another point, and the Rangers haven't scored yet by this point. So then it's 2-0 at the end of the first period. So they go on their break. Later reporter is talking to Donna, and Donna's there with their oldest son, and asks him a question. He says into the camera that he has a toy pony. It takes big shits. They cut to the control booth, and everyone's like, it's too late. Get off him, get off him. So then the second period starts. Now the Rangers are still playing hard. And what they're doing is they're taking shifts in the locker room. And people are asking, is this legal?
Right.
Because there's a rule in hockey. You can only have so many men on the ice. And that means if your foot touches the ice, you're going to be one man over. Right? Mm-hmm. This is the number on the ice. So people coming in and out of the box, that's why you see things work the way they do. Right? Off, out, over the thing, wait for some. That's the kind of shit that can jack you up. Right. So anyway, yeah, they're going in shifts, like 5-6 guys at a time, warming up in the locker room. And in very short order, they end up tying the game. Then they take the lead. John takes a hard hit. Bernie takes another hard one later. And they're just getting pounded by the Rangers. And before long, it's 5-2. Second period is over. Rangers in the lead. The mystery team looks battered in the locker room. And Judge tells John to just hold the game, just play strict defense. And then John isn't having it. He says the Rangers are starting to breathe through their mouths. Their strides are getting shorter. They are not up for this in these conditions. Plus, it's getting dark. Mm-hmm. It's getting colder by the minute.
Right. This is our rink.
Yep. This is, this isn't a pond, but it's ice.
Yeah.
And it's our ice. So it's still our pond.
Right.
And that's the thing. They're bringing the Rangers down to their world now. And they can't have it. They're not adapting.
Yeah. And I like after John does his little spiel, Judge Dad goes up to him and he goes, "Nice assist."
Mm-hmm. I like that. It's kind of formulaic when it happens.
Yeah.
You're like, but it still works. Mm-hmm. It still works. It's not always the guy in charge who's going to lead the troops. You have to have a troop defy the advice of the leader. Defense my ass. This is we still have a shot.
Yeah.
So the team is jazzed. We get to the third period. Everyone is playing hard on both sides. John checks a Ranger over the boards. Mystery scores. Skank slides and blocks a slap shot. Gets him square in the balls. But he gets up and keeps going. Later, they score again. It's now 5-4. Rangers still in the lead. As the seconds wind down, Connor makes the shot. It hits the rim of the goal. It's, we see the puck flying through the air, and then we see the top rim of the goal. Puck bounces off of it. The game is over.
Yeah, and the mystery team is just crushed.
Yeah, but just before this, there was, I think, the best Burt Reynolds scene in a very long time for me is when they got 43 seconds left of the game. Mm-hmm. They're just, it's when this all happens. And he just gets them all together and he points to the clock. He says, 43 seconds. And then the rest of your lives. And he just gives this, get out there, this. And as they get to go, he just says 43 seconds, and that's it. There's something to that I want to get into, but let's finish this up. So the crowd stands and applauds their team, right? Mm-hmm. We see the Rangers gathered at the end of the ice, and they start racking their sticks on the ice out of respect.
Yeah.
Because no one can deny that they were given a run for their money. That's the whole point. All right, so the game is over. It's a couple days later. Stevie is going back with the Rangers. He's been offered a spot And Connor is leaving, but he's going to Double A, and then
Right.
they want him to do some time in the Double A, and then they're gonna probably bring him up to the Rangers. Um, John gives Charlie a sincere thank you
Hmm.
for everything, and the last bit of the movie is my absolute favorite. We just see John with a puck. He goes to Bailey's grave. He sets it at the base of it, and it's an official NHL, the game puck,
Yeah.
right? And there we are.
So
Now,
that is Mystery Alaska.
yes. So let's talk. I want to talk about a few things. Let's kind of go backwards a bit. I want to get to that 43 seconds.
Okay.
Um, it's a thing that's been lost in so many films. I've actually come to expect that speech in a lot of movies, especially dramas,
Sure.
right? Especially things where it's David versus Goliath, the underdog kind of thing. I feel like when he says 43 seconds and then the rest of your lives, it's not, this is your moment, you can do it, right? It's, this is it. This is the dream. This is the last 43 seconds. And then after that is over, it's the rest of your life. Do what you can do in this 43 seconds. That's what he's telling them, right? And then to me, when he follows it up with, and then the rest of your lives, there's more to life than these 43 seconds.
Yes. I mean, the world isn't going to stop.
Right.
At the end of the game.
Right. It's like, so say you're a singer. You're not a rock star. You haven't hit it big. You do a couple like gigs here and there. But then someone calls you up and says, yeah, so for whatever, basketball or baseball team, we want you to come out and sing the national anthem.
What?
Right?
Yeah.
X number of seconds. Make it count. And then it's the rest of your life.
Mm-hmm.
What happens there, you take with you the rest of your life.
Right.
Right? It's not over. It's going to go with you. And hopefully it's good. I like the amount of positivity that is oddly dished out.
Yeah.
In conversations of dread and woe.
Yeah.
What if it's a rout, Charlie? What if they beat us so bad? You can't recover from that. And I love how that defeatist approach to everything is out of fear. And then it just comes down to, we're playing the New York Rangers. We are the team from Mystery, Alaska, a town in the middle of fucking nowhere that nobody has ever heard of except in that article. And next month, they'll never remember us because of the
right
article.
now.
But right now, this is our now, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, lessons.
So, okay, this movie is a really unusual movie. And the thing about it is it has a lot of characters in it that have to be squeezed into a short amount of time.
Yes, it does.
A lot of characters.
Yes.
And you're good at catching names, and I'm not so good at catching names, but it doesn't really matter whether or not you catch their names.
Right.
Right? Because they, the actors are like, they don't make the mistake that there have been movies that have made the mistakes of choosing actors that look too similar to one another.
Yeah.
And then it gets confusing about who is who.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, they all like look very different and stuff, which is good because you can tell everyone apart. But what they do really well is every character in here, even though they only get little bits of screen time, besides John and Donna and the mayor,
right?
They are very distinct characters.
So, what Mystery Alaska reminded me of was Northern Exposure, the TV show. lots and lots of characters in the TV show. And for the longest time, you only got like a minute or less,
Mm-hmm.
maybe every other episode, of one, this person, that person, that person. They all are just like in and out,
Yeah.
in and out, you know. Um, but yeah, so David E. Kelley,
He's a TV writer.
and arguably a fantastic TV writer. So
Yeah.
many excellent series under his name. You can say what you want about each series, like it or not. Not going to argue. Not everything's a winner. I didn't like all of the shows. But fact is, he's good at what he does.
Right.
Right? And they're all very similar. They all share that dialogue where it's just like that. Things happen
It's so quick.
like that. Now, oddly, in a TV series, the habit is extending shit because you've got 15 more episodes,
Mm-hmm.
right? So let's draw this out. And then shit'll happen in the next episode next week. We got to keep them coming back, right? David Kelley is so fast with his pacing.
Mm-hmm.
He brings people in, bam, 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 and then off to the next, bam, 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 off to the next, knowing there's still more episodes.
Well,
right?
yeah.
And that's what he brought to this movie. This movie feels very much like a television setup.
Yeah.
Because there aren't these long expositional scenes. They aren't these long setup scenes.
I mean, the biggest exposition is the article reading at the beginning of the movie, which is important
Right.
to the setup.
Yeah. And it's completely forgivable and it's natural.
Oh, yeah.
Because, let's read from the article.
It's well done.
Yeah. I think that's what hurt the movie. It was so much like a TV show.
Mm.
And it's not bad. It's not bad. Because Kelley only ever did one other feature, Lake Placid. And then swore off fucking feature films because both this and Lake Placid
Did horribly. And, I've seen Lake Placid, and it wasn't bad. It wasn't as bad as everyone made it out to be.
No.
It wasn't my favorite movie or anything.
Right, but it's a good Midland watch.
Yeah.
Right? The reason I love Mystery Alaska is because it had that energy
Mm-hmm.
of human interaction at the smallest levels. And it all seems superficial. And that's the thing I hate. These characters are so superficial. When people say that about a film, it's like, okay, so go get your fucking VHS copy of whatever Shakespearean theater play that you like and just watch that over and over and over again.
Well,
all right? Because not everything has to be a deep cut reveal of characters.
Well, and here's the other thing is if you are frustrated by, characters seeming a little two-dimensional in films, right? You get to spend an hour and a half to 2 hours with them,
Yeah.
right? And that depends on how much screen time they get. Go down to a, like a bar or whatever and spend 2 hours there and come out and tell me how deeply you know any of the people in there.
Right. If you're bitching about two-dimensional characters, go spend some time and look at one-dimensional real-life people.
Right?
Exactly. Character development isn't... Okay, so Connor Banks. We know that he works as a grocery clerk. We know that he has pride in his town. He loves playing hockey. He's good at it. And he shot a guy in the foot.
Mm-hmm.
We don't need to know more than that because he plays those things.
For the purposes of this film,
And
we don't need to know him any better than
We don't
that.
need to know what he does at night. Does he play chess with himself? Is he a video game aficionado? Is he a chronic masturbator? Does he have deep cycle? Nobody gives a fuck. That's the whole thing that we've been talking about, like episode after episode after episode.
Yeah.
Lately, is back off the fucking characters. Let them be. Present this character. Here's the ABC of him. Connor Banks works at a grocery store, small town guy, fucking loves hockey. Done.
Yeah.
Unless it's a movie about him and we have 90 minutes to 2 hours of the life of Connor Banks, right? Mm-hmm. We don't need to go any deeper.
I think So, just like a bit of advice in building characters in general, a lot of people spend a lot of time. They'll make a character and then they'll write pages of backstory for the character that they know will never make it into the film or TV show or whatever, right? But they cement all of this backstory into it. I could call you out right now
Shh.
for not turning your phone on airplane mode.
It didn't go off though, did it?
It didn't.
It's in airplane mode
it's
now.
Okay.
I just
Listen. So, and I've known people who do this, who write pages and pages and pages of character backstory that's never going to get used. But what you do when you do that is you pigeonhole and you box your character in to this confining little cardboard box of factual information about them.
Right.
Rather than, and I mean, this is true whether you're writing a movie or writing a TV show or writing a fucking poem, right? Rather than letting them grow organically the way that real people do.
Right.
And responding to the stimuli that are happening around them. You can give them basic facts, right? I would say 3 to 5 basic facts about them, right? These are the tenets of this character. Bob is, loyal. Bob loves hockey. Bob works at a grocery store.
Yeah.
Right. And then you write your outline. And as you're writing your story, you let Bob grow with the story. And it happens more organically and it happens better.
Yes.
Yeah. And the dialogue is so natural and so good. And I think that comes from just his massive amount of experience in writing, dialogue, like TV dialogue. And
it is very real. And kudos to the actors.
Oh, yeah.
Right. So Colm Meaney, everyone knows him as, Star Trek Next Generation, chief engineer. And then he went away. He's been in a lot of stuff. He's played a lot of villains, especially Irish villains or Scottish villains. Or roughy toughy bad guys and stuff. He's awesome in this, but he and Hank Azaria are arguing. So Scott and Charlie, he's like, oh, this is just you're just thinking of yourself. You'd bite off your own Jimmy if you thought it would help you. And just the response, really, Scott, my own Jimmy. The way that was it. And it sounds stupid when I say it, but when you watch it, you can see 2 very professional actors using very professionally written dialogue. And it's so natural because that's how people talk. And we've talked about that. It's so hard to write dialogue in a script because people talk more than a couple words, right?
Oh, yeah.
So I've been going on for 30 seconds, 45 seconds. Okay. This would never make it in a script.
Oh, no.
Be like,
that's a monologue, man.
Pick 25 words, break it into 3 sentences, and then cut 1 sentence.
Yeah.
And that's your characters. And that's fine because movies about pacing.
I mean, anything over 3 lines on a script is a monologue.
Right. And nobody wants to go see monologue after monologue after monologue. Right. But the fact of the matter is people, when we talk on a conversational level and we're close with one another, right? So friends, family and stuff, it's very quick. There's not a lot of pauses. I did it. You made me boop it.
I did it earlier, but you didn't even notice.
I noticed it.
Shh.
I know.
You did not. Nope, you didn't.
I didn't want to call you out because you seemed like you were just going to cruise past it. So I let it ride. But now you booped your mic. I'm not going to edit it out. So the conversation in this, the dialogue is very good because it's quick to the point, but it's also still fits in that natural and it keeps it at the superficial level.
Oh, yeah.
Quips and retorts, right? There's the meaningful conversations are given their due. They're not overly long, but they work. So I want to touch on a couple inks, right?
Sure.
So the first was, the whole thing. Oh, they're building a rink kind of thing.
We'll play them on a pond. And then they start building a rink immediately.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh.
Right. Um, the uh, the bit where they are in the town meeting, it's hard to explain, but it just, when you watch the whole thing through, it seems like there's a point where we missed something, because it seems at one point, because the old woman yells at Charlie, you can't even skate, you left this town, and da 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 da. Like, leaving town is, you murdered
Like,
everybody's first son.
it's the highest crime one can commit.
Exactly. But it seems like there was something that was cut out, because there's a retort to him as they're all kind of like murmuring and stuff. And I'm like, even to this day, it's like, something got cut. Just didn't flow.
Something was left on the floor.
And a lot of people don't notice this stuff, but me.
I know.
Fuck. You talk about, well, in one shot, the glass is full, and the other one, the glass is half empty. That's for amateurs. All right. I can notice millimeters difference and shit. I can tell when the fucking hair is not right. I can tell when they've done a pickup shot and, close up on the actor, male or female, and then this, and then they come to another close up, and I'm like, the eyeliner is off. The hair isn't curled the right way. It's a different length. Oh, this month, that stupid Riff Tracks one we were watching, Oblivion 2 or some shit thing.
Yeah.
I don't know if you noticed, there's a whole scene with the sheriff. It was a pickup because his hair was way shorter. That whole close-up scene. And I don't mean they just shot him differently. You could see where it was cut, before it was, not quite to the shoulders, but it was sort of long,
right?
Whatever, Western look. But his hair all around was shorter. The dude had a haircut. But then the next scene, it's back to long hair.
Yeah, it happens.
So anyway, just a couple wrinkles like that. I will say they could have done without Skank's story.
Probably.
In this movie.
Felt a little base, like it brought down the movie a little bit.
I think if we wanted to keep the mayor and his wife's issues, right, I think it would have been enough to have her with him, with Skank,
mm-hmm.
and then just, deal with it from there. I don't think we needed Skank's role in as elongated as it was. If I had to pick where to trim as an editor, I would have cut the Skank story out.
Yeah.
Right? Because it didn't really do much. So, like, we could have skipped the whole, him with Sarah Hines,
right.
The whole punishment. I mean, it was funny and, creepy. Yes, skate around and slide on your ass. We could have cut all that out and you would have never known.
That's true.
Right. So I will concede that could have been gone. I think it would have not spoiled the pacing. I don't think we would have missed it. I don't think we would have lost any beef.
Yeah.
In the dish.
And this was this an R-rated movie?
Yes.
Yeah. I don't think it needed to be an R-rated movie.
I'm
think
wondering,
they could have cut out some of that bit and made it a PG, and it might have done a little better.
Well, I'm wondering if there wasn't actual nudity in a couple of those shots,
right,
where Skank is doing his thing. Probably not, because those actresses, those women don't typically, at that time, were done with all that.
Yeah.
Right. I think there might have been more swearing. There might have been some stuff that was cut out. But prior to the final edit, they got their rating, and then when it was resubmitted, it just, I don't know. Didn't seem that harsh.
Well, I mean, okay, well, there's the like allusions to the like the thing with the plow truck, the little awkward teen kind of like sex thing in there. And then there's the actual like Skank and the wife having sex, but there's no like tits or anything. But then there's some language. I think if they would have kind of cut a lot of that down to make it into like a PG-13 rating for the movie, it might have done better, because this is the type of movie that like I the story of it is something that definitely is something that you could bring a kid to,
It is. It's a classic feel-good
Yeah.
through the struggle story.
So I think it is kind of a shame that stuff kind of like precludes you from making this into a family film.
Right. So good writing overall. I think it's a great presentation of characters. I think we're given exactly what we need.
Masterfully edited.
Mostly.
Yeah, well, besides those little things, but the like cutting between scenes.
Yeah. The pacing is good, and it has a TV feel. And I think the last thing I want to say is I think that's what killed it, is because it had that TV feel. I think about late 90s, early 2000s, we were making that shift towards movies as we have them today, which is way out of fucking control. So we have 4 hour.
Yeah.
A 4-hour director's cut of fucking Justice League. Are you shitting me? I'm going to keep bitching about that until someone burns it.
There's no reason any movie needs to be over 2 hours long.
That is, and these are supposed to be the professionals, right? Like, well, they're working in Hollywood. Do what they do. No, fuck that. That is bad writing. That is bad editing. That is bad storytelling. It's a movie.
It's 4 hours. Make it into a mini series.
Right. Make it into a fucking miniseries or
cut that shit down.
Or a trilogy.
Yeah.
But Jesus Christ, enough. That means, because you're not telling, there isn't one movie out there that's over 3 hours long where I'm like, it needed every minute for that story.
Yeah.
Because even like the Marvel stuff, I'm like, oh my fucking God, if this doesn't move on, I might actually go home. I'm tired.
I have to pee.
Yeah. I've got to piss, and I'm tired of waiting. I've ate my food, my feet have been up. I feel like I've done my bit. I got my money's worth. I'm going home because there's still fucking 2 hours and 20 minutes of this movie left after an hour and 50 minutes into it.
Right.
Fuck me. It's anyway. I think the tide was turning, because I think if we trace things back, we can see where movies started to lose that connection. Right. And I think that's what happened here. This was sort of like the fun film.
Right.
The quick pace, just surface level stuff. Let's just get through this and have fun with these people. It was that tide had washed out, and the new tide coming in was the shit that we have today, where 20 fucking minutes of exposition. We're 52 minutes into the film before anything fucking happens.
Right.
Anything. 52 minutes of annoying fucking character building or just shit. And then at minute 52, something happens. But then at 1 hour 19, the movie's over. What the holy fuck?
Oh, I know.
Anyway.
But this movie does dialogue so well. I think that's the main lesson, is like character and dialogue.
Right. All the way through.
Check this movie.
There's very few moments.
Yeah.
Where there's nothing happening or being said. So, folks, write your story. If you want to write a story that's feel good and have fun and a bunch of characters, quirky kind of thing, and if you like this movie when you watch it, and you liked Northern Exposure and all the other similar, if you liked Gilligan's Island, right? Seriously, it's the same kind of formula. Create characters that people can quickly identify with. We don't need a deep-rooted connection. We just need to understand what they're about. So give them 2 or 3 top-level personality traits. Yeah. They can be quirks. They can be, fixations, or the foundation of who like this never tells a lie kind of thing. Okay, we get that.
Yeah.
Right. Do it.
Yeah. There's an anecdote. And it's a little deeper going into character, right? But there's an anecdote from one of my favorite authors who was talking about, as she was writing a book, her main character had a love interest, right? And as she was writing the book, she had intended at the end of the book for these 2 characters to get together.
Right.
Right. And she got about halfway through, and her characters weren't, the love interest wasn't exactly following the path that she had kind of intended. And she thought that was kind of interesting, but she liked what was going on, so she kept going. And she said she got 3/4 through to the decision point, right? And the love interest, she was telling the story. She said that I got to that point and I realized, no, this character was speaking to her, right? This character that she'd created
Right.
was speaking to her and like, no, I don't think that I would do that. I don't think that I would make that decision. And she realized at that moment that she had put so much life into this character. She'd let it grow. She'd let her grow organically to the point where the character kind of had her own voice and was arguing with her, the writer.
Yeah.
And I thought that was such a good story. Like if you get to that point in your story where your characters are not following the path that you intended them to, right? That's not always a good thing. But if it's
Right.
because they're so vivid and alive and real, right?
Yeah. There's a moment when you'll know.
Yeah.
You'll know when it's just spiraled out of control. That's the bad thing.
Yes.
Right? You're like, well, he was a janitor who was falling for this beautiful English teacher, and now he's fighting fucking hobgoblins on the moon. Something happened. Okay, that's not the characters telling you this is the way it really is. That's you just losing control of your shit and seeing what happened after the hurricane settled down. But when you are writing something and you're in the mind of the character and you're doing this, and then all of a sudden you just get that pang, like
this isn't right.
You're trying to make them say or do something and it doesn't read well. It doesn't sit well in your head. And you're like, what? This is the fucking point.
Right. This is where my story is planned to go.
Yeah. So that is when you've reached the singularity.
Yeah.
Your characters have come to life inside of you, and follow it. Because here's the thing. If you follow it and it was a mistake,
you'll know pretty quickly.
Yeah. You just go back, put the cursor where you've made that change, shift, click, highlight the rest of the story, delete it, and then rewrite that bit. Go back to what you had. Always give it a chance. Always give your inner voice a chance to be heard, because that inner voice is the characters, is the supporting characters, is the story itself, telling you, now wait a minute.
Yeah.
These two are going to come together, but, not like this in my world. I'm the world, right? That's not how it happens. This is how it happens.
Yeah.
This is what makes it unique or special. Follow it. Fuck. What do you have to lose?
Right. Or, I mean, even in the case of that book, they never got together. And it was disappointing, but it felt right.
Right. It's funny. So we played D&D last night.
Oh, yeah. And
there's actually a portion of the game, one of the deities had some quotes being said to the characters. And it's basically taken from Asian philosophy. That's where, everything has its root in truth. And it's just the concept of the idea. It's a long-standing thing in many Asian philosophies. And I say Asian because they're older than anybody else's. Let's just leave it at that. And, the thing is, without an idea, nothing would exist.
Right.
Right? Everything that you see, touch, smell, eat, everything started with an idea. An idea to take an animal skin and shove feathers and leaves in it so your ass isn't sore, right? Is an idea. Who knows how long it took for it to work out, but now we have cushions, chairs. And it sounds ridiculous because it's so simple. But when it comes to creativity, follow the idea, right? Because anyone can write, anyone can create stuff, right? But a true professional, and that means you're on top of your shit, right? You don't just wake up and have shit spewing out of you. You put the work in. Part of that work is run with the idea and then look at it and realize whether or not it works.
Yeah.
What about it does or doesn't work. Just do it, because part of your responsibility is to craft it, But in doing that, make your characters fit the story, right? The story doesn't fit the characters. The characters have to fit the story. It's a simple story. Give us simple characters.
Yeah.
Keep things moving. Don't be afraid to reach out, jump out and try this and that. Let the characters take the reins for a bit.
Yeah.
And if it sucks, then just don't let them do it again. You had your chance. Fuck you.
You're not developed enough to drive this story.
Exactly. Idiots. It's your thing. Scoring was good.
Oh yeah, the music was really good.
Really good. Appropriately repetitive at the key moments.
Yeah.
The beginning and then throughout the game, during the practices, right? We had that. See, it's all that Pavlovian thing. Put it together so we can, at different points in the movie, identify these things together, and it keeps carrying. So, oh yeah. Even if you don't think it, you just feel it. You know that music. You heard it in the beginning, and now this is happening. By the time you get to the end, you're like, oh, this is the culmination, right?
Right.
All right. Watch this movie. Take some heavy notes. Enjoy it. It is what it is. And this could very well be what happens to your film. You could get out there, you could make a big fucking A-budget film, and all of a sudden everyone treats it like a, stagnant turd.
That doesn't mean that the film isn't good.
Nope. That's just the business, folks. Anyway, why don't you jump over to our website,
www.lordsofmisrollproductions.com,
and catch all of our past episodes, because we reiterate this shit going backwards. A lot of interviews with people. We've covered a lot of movies. We've had some super awesome interviews.
Yeah.
And, with people who share differing opinions sometimes on different things. But, we have our opinion. This is our podcast, and this is how we do things. And we know a lot of people who do them the same. And we know people who do them differently. And guess what? None of it's right. None of it's wrong.
There's no magic formula.
No.
To make a perfect movie or a perfect script or a perfect show or a perfect performance.
No. But the only magic formula that's involved in any of this is finding on what platforms this podcast is on from our website, signing up for one, and whatever you're listening on,
leave us a rating
review. And preferably a review, but ratings first. Ratings are the magic formula. And that's that.
And if you've been listening to this podcast and you've found value in it, and you've been like, yeah, I'm going to write my fucking script, and you've, accomplished something, and we've helped you, and you appreciate that we've helped you, you might want to go check out our Patreon page and become a patron.
Yep. It's all right there. Super simple.
Yeah.
It's like that spoof thing The Onion did about Apple, the big red button.
Sure.
Can't get any simpler than a big red button. Just one.
It's on our website. Check it out.
It's super simple to figure out and sort out.
Yeah.
Our social media links are on there. Our email links are on there. So reach out to us and talk to us. Check us out on social media. Check out the people we follow and who follow us, because they are cool. A lot of creatives, indie film people out there. Use it. Keep running forward. If you're busting through 2021 already, reach out and let us know. We hey, I got 10 fucking pages done on my script that I fucked around all of 2020 with, because, living in this nightmare. I don't even know the word. It's not even Orwellian. That's like an insult to Orwell.
Yeah. We want to know about it. Let us know.
Yeah. And most importantly, do your thing. Write, film, compose. If you're a technical person, keep your eyes out there, man. I see ads all the time. People are like doing micro budgets. They're advertising on Twitter, for fuck's sake. Micro budgets. I saw this one woman. She's looking for a sound person. Can't pay them. It's a micro budget film. But
if you need something to put on your resume.
Exactly. And doing that kind of stuff is what gets you in touch with other people. Because if you're a sound person on a production, every person on that production becomes part of your circle. And they are like you. They want to make money. One of you's going to hear about something, share it with the rest. Oh man, sweet, you got this going. I worked with the sound guy who was pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Bring him in. Yeah, this AD, she was fucking phenomenal. I think you should give her a call before you start, going out casting.
Randomly.
Yeah. Putting job notices out. So do it. Do your thing. Help people do their thing.
Rock 2021.
Yeah. Let's
make this year yours.
Yes. You were going to say make it your bitch again, weren't you?
I was absolutely going to say that.
I saw it in your eyes. All right, B-siders.
Until next time.
Until next time. We'll talk to you next week with some more stuff.
This is Danny.
And this is Jim.
Bye.
Bye.